Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Fitness Education Series produced by the Australian Fitness Academy. It's like progressive overload for your brain. I'm your host, Tom Rock, and today's episode I'm going to discuss the perfect program. And it's a concept that I don't think really exists. I don't think there's a perfect program. I think everyone wants a perfect program. Everyone wants to know what the perfect program is. So if you've got clients or people are looking to get into the gym, or whether it's the gym programs or running programs or cardiovascular programs of any sort, everyone's looking for the perfect program. And I definitely understand it. You want to maximize your time in the gym, do something that's the most optimal. So whether it's for hypertrophy and gaining as much muscle as possible, or whether it's for fat loss and you're trying to lose the most or lose weight efficiently and in a relatively short time frame potentially, you're always after the perfect program to make sure you're doing it as best as possible or as fast as possible. And it's probably a common concept across a lot of industries, but I think it comes up a lot in the gym, and especially with social media these days. There's always people asking questions: what program do you follow? What program do you follow? And looking potentially to follow the same program as someone they look up to or someone they see on social media, and being like, well, I'm just going to do that program because that's what they're doing, or wanting to know what exercises, what sets, what reps, all these sorts of things that each other's doing, and trying to follow that. And it's it's okay, it gets you somewhere to start, but I think it's important to understand, and a good thing to educate your clients on is that there is no perfect program. There's potentially a perfect program for each individual. So the perfect program for me might not be the perfect program for all of my clients. And one of my clients, I might have the perfect program for them, but that's not going to be the perfect program for another one of my clients. And it's a really important thing for us to understand as personal trainers and fitness coaches, and to get that idea out there in the industry so people aren't following these programs just because someone else is following the program. And it sort of shows our value in our ability to manipulate programming variables to suit individual lifestyles, individual preferences, individual goals, and individual abilities, so each program can be perfect for that person at that point in time. Whether it is hypertrophy or weight loss is the goal, we've got to create the perfect program for them. And the more people realize that that's not the perfect program that they've found on the internet that says it's the best hypertrophy program on the planet, it's important to understand that as an individual, your programming needs, programming requirements may be different to another individual's. So when people are looking for a program, let's talk about hypertrophy. Hypertrophy is a common one. Everyone's sort of asking, well, what sets and reps do I do? What exercises are best? And there's definitely variations of exercises, or certain exercises that are potentially better suited for hypertrophy than, say, strength or weight loss, um, based on their outcomes and their stimulus that they allow the body to get, and their potentially how much fatigue they cause, how easy they are to recover from. So exercise selection can change based on the goal. So while there are maybe good programs and bad programs, I think the notion of a perfect program is hard to come by if it's not on an individual basis. But and I've talked a lot about programming frequency before, and the most important programming variable, and these sorts of things in some previous podcasts. And I think the ability to manipulate a program for it to suit someone's lifestyle is really important. There's no point me having a upper lower split program, so you have to be in the gym 4 days a week, and I've calculated the volume per muscle group, sets, reps, intensity, recovery between sessions, number of exercises, all sorts of things are what I've calculated to be spot on for hypertrophy. If I give that to a person who really can't commit to the gym 4 days a week, it's not going to be the perfect program. Or if someone can go to the gym 4 times a week and I give them that program, the exercises that I've put in that program may not suit them. like they do me or like they do another one of my clients. The exercises, um, they may not have the mobility, they might not have the balance, they might not have access to that equipment. All these sorts of things uh, will dictate if that is a good program for that individual and is it going to help them reach their goals. So while there's no overarching one perfect program, there's definitely concepts we want to apply. So to hypertrophy or weight loss programs, whether it's energy expenditure, whether we're looking at recovery and fatigue from session to session, um, lots of different aspects go into what program design and what makes it can potentially make it a perfect program in a certain circumstance for a certain individual. But saying that or having people out there trying to follow a program or asking someone what program they follow and then just trying to follow the same program thinking they're going to get the same results, it doesn't really happen like that. So that's where your ability to come in and create a specific program is going to be much more beneficial for any individual rather than just following a program someone they know, finding a program online. If you can get them following a program that suits their ability and they learn to complete the exercises that you deem are good for their goal and is going to help them reach their goal, and they're performing them to a good intensity consistently, that's going to be where they start to see results. It's not necessarily about having the perfect program and one perfect program that's going to be the best for everybody. It's going to be different for different people. But yeah, just sort of my thoughts on the perfect program concept, and a question that's sort of asked a lot through social media these days, and people are always looking to find out what programs other people are on. I think that's where a trainer and a personal trainer or a fitness instructor is important, because they can tailor a program specifically for you. But if you've got any thoughts, guys, on the perfect program, or you've had any experiences with clients asking this in the past, or you've seen anything on social media in regards to follow this program, it's the best for hypertrophy, sort of stuff, yeah, send an email to tom@afa.com.au. I'd love to hear your thoughts or experiences with this. Have you followed different programs? That's also another one. So the more programs you follow, it's a great way to get experience and learn things as a personal trainer, even for general population in the gym. If you sort of have you've learned how to exercise and you've got the techniques down, following different programs isn't a bad thing to get an idea of what you like, what you dislike. And applying different structures is really important. And as a personal trainer, it's good to know what it feels like to do a full body 3 days a week, or what is it like to do a 5-day split program. How does it work if I want to do deadlifts and squats in the same session? Is that even a good thing, potentially? So trying lots of different programs is an important aspect, I think, of being a personal trainer, and sort of experimenting with your own training, so that when you do give programs to clients, you can manipulate the programs, change them for individuals, but still understand how it's going to feel for them, what the potential outcomes will be. And as long as you have a good reasoning behind the sets, the reps, how many exercises you're doing, how many times per week they're training, exercise selection, as long as you can sort of justify what's in there and it applies specifically to that individual, I think you're going to be well on the way to creating a good program. But yeah, hopefully that gives you a bit of my thoughts on that, guys. If you do have any thoughts on it, reach out. If you've got any questions or topics that this sort of gets you thinking about, shoot me an email. I'd love to follow up on any questions or topics you guys want to hear me discuss. Happy to cover off anything: programming, training, exercise selection, nutrition. Let me know if you've got any questions or topics you want to hear my thoughts on. Email tom@afa.com.au, and happy to cover anything. Other than that, guys, have a good weekend, and I'll talk to you all soon.